My name's Steve Morgan. I am a lot of things. I do stand-up comedy, improv comedy, perform and teach. I write for different music magazines. I create my own music. Um, God, I forget I act as well. I got a play coming up. Yeah, and I also work in IT, which is the only part which actually makes any money, unfortunately, but that's life. But I'm British. I live in the Netherlands, have lived here for 3 years, lived in Australia before that. And yeah, I mean, my country's not in the best of states at the moment, so it's kind of good being somewhere else. Yeah, and that's about it, I think.
We have no shortage of things to talk about. I was excited about obviously your comedy work is very cool. I've been enjoying some of your YouTube stuff and going through some of the cool things you've done online, but also, you have a big music background. You're a writer. I did not know you worked in IT, so I feel like we have more to talk about than I even realized.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a great fit, but what are you doing? So I'm sure you're doing the most of the IT work right now because it's keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
But creatively, what do you sort of do the most of right now?
It's a really good question. And like a lot of people, I feel like this is not a normal time, in that sort of sense. It was weird. Like when the whole kind of pandemic thing started, there was this like euphoric moment where it was like, oh my God, all this time I'm like at home and like, and now I can catch up on all those things, which I keep putting off. And then about 3 months in, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I'm done now. I miss interactions.
This is crushing.
Like,
yes.
this is too much. Exactly. So it has been a real struggle kind of finding that balance of like, how do you recreate these sorts of things? 'Cause I'm very much like a collaborative person. I definitely work better when I'm with other people rather than stuck in my own head. So with that, musically, it has been, well, actually, I kind of, my fiance, I essentially have kind of roped in as my sort of surrogate everything, whether it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of someone to make music with, bounce ideas off, or just generally drive insane with relentless chatter through the day. But yeah, it's just been more of a case of trying to artificially create those sorts of things and doing things online as well. Like for example, I'm teaching a corporate on improv workshop next week, and I got some things like this, and these are all things which they're good. They kind of it's good to adapt and work out. But one thing I just can't deny is that, it's no substitute for the real life equivalents, which now, touch wood, we can start moving back towards.
We're getting closer. I too have a loved one who is not involved in sort of like being as online as we are. And so it is interesting what we do to our families and our loved ones and our friends when it's like, I need you to do the following so I can do this thing that's mostly solo and I should be able to do alone, but I could really use your help. It's been a funny thing. And my wife works in the medical field, so this has been exceptionally hard on her. And so it's difficult to sort of inflict myself on her right now because it's the last thing in the world she needs. She needs support and somebody to talk to and everything. And instead I'm like, I'm bored working in my office. Can I hang out in yours?
Yeah, that's it. I guess that's the thing is, it's got to be so ridiculously difficult working in the medical field at the moment and just like incomparable to anything that's come before. And, like kudos to your wife with that sort of thing. But it's amazing, like how every single person is going through like some sort of level of adaptation and change and things like this. And it's we're all working these things out. And I think it's all kind of like unknown territory of just like things of how your psyche reacts to all of these different things, some positive, some negative. But yeah, I feel like there's just like so much collective like weirdness in the heads of people that's happening in the last year or so. And we're all going to like, maybe years later, we'll sort of look back and kind of like go, oh, I understand it now. But right now, we're in it and we don't really understand how it's affecting us.
I'm sure a couple of these things are here to stay. I think there's going to be a greater understanding of like, hey, we can meet online. That's fine. Nobody wants to do everything from their home full time like we maybe thought we did a couple of years ago. But I think some of these things are going to be new. But you're right. There's no playbook. We all thought It's weird. Almost everybody thought that they were uniquely adapted to like this way of life. I thought so too, because I was in professional software for a long time. And when this stuff started, I had already been a freelancer from home for a few years. And I thought, okay, almost literally nothing changes for me. And sure enough, a few months into this, I was like, this is crushing. I need something else. It's like I need to go back to working in a coffee shop or something. Like it's
yeah, that's it. It's amazing, isn't it? Because I guess it's even, I don't know about yourself, but I consider myself to actually have quite an introverted character on the whole. I do get some energy from socializing, but I really do need time to recover from these things. But even so, there definitely comes a limit, and it definitely kind of, there's got to be a balance to all of these things. And there are times when, just like going out and socializing with someone, and I'm getting rushes that are like, almost artificial, coming out of just having a conversation with someone. This is, it's like, what is this?
I just told my wife the other day, she had just come off a call, and I said, "You've got that weird meeting energy," which is something that we both observed over the last year. Like, I'll have it after this podcast. I'll be kind of buzzing around a little bit. Like, what's going on with you? I just talked to someone,
Yeah, exactly. I talked to someone, and it wasn't even a functional conversation. We just talked about things. Oh my God.